Hi everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to take your original index file and any images that you may have or files that you may have and duplicate it into many different files. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my file and open with Text Wrangler. Now if you're using a PC, you may want to right click on it, open with, and Notepad should pop up. Another way to do this is to just open up Notepad or Text Wrangler or TextEdit or any kind of other text editor you may have. Open that program up and then just go to File, Open. Just like I would here, go to Text Wrangler, File, Open, and then you can open those files from there as well. And you can see here that I've got a very basic HTML file. Not only do I have my opening HTML and closing HTML tags, I've got the body. Okay, I've got the head right here, open and close it, and now I've got the body that opens and closes all the way down here. Okay, now within the body, I've got 4 different sections. I've got my welcome, which is kind of like my home page information. I've also got a hobbies and interest area that has a table in it. It's also got a paragraph in it. And then down here, I've got some assignments and projects that I've worked on listed out. I've got a few paragraphs there. And then down here at the very bottom, I've got an H1 that has some contact information. Now, up here at right when the body opens, I'm going to give myself some space because I'm going to start building out my list, which is going to basically become my navigation. So I opened it there, and I'm going to close it right here. So what this is showing is an unordered list, UL. It's going to open and then it's going to close. And within that list, I'm going to create some list items. List item number 1. Go ahead and copy that and paste it just for the sake of time. Number 2, number 3, and number 4. So that means that there's going to be 4 bulleted list items here. On the first list item, LI tag, I'm going to put home because that is going to be my first button on my navigation, the home button. The second button will be about. Actually, it's not. It's going to be my hobbies and interests because that's going to relate to my next area of content. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there, hobbies. Interests. My third is going to be what now? It's going to be assignments and projects. And then my very last one is going to be contact because that is the information that I have down here, my contact area. You can write whatever you want there, contact me. And then the next step is to create links to each one of these pages that we just created. So I'm going to go ahead and start by creating an A tag before and after each item. And I'll fill this in a second with more attributes and values, but just to make sure that each one of these tags is open and closed before we continue making the link. So to make the link, to finish the link, I have to not just write an A tag, but within that tag, okay, so you can see that the A is the tag, and then I can put a space bar right within that tag and type in RHEF equals quotes. Okay, so this is the attribute. I'm telling the link to go somewhere to a hyperlink to a file. And the file that I want this to link to is the index.html file. And that is the actual file I'm working on here, because obviously I want the home button to link to the index file. Now the second one I'm going to link to, href equals, I'm just going to call it hobbies. And this is where you can just make up whatever file name you want to. Even though the file has not been created yet, I'm just going to go ahead and put hobbies.html. The next file that I'm going to link to, href equals quote assignments.html. And then the very last one, I'm just going to go ahead and call it contact.html. So you can see now that each of these attributes have a value. The value is the file name that I'm about to create, and they're all within the A tag, which closes right here. So I can go ahead and save it. I'm going to open up a browser and file, open. Go to my desktop, find the web folder, go ahead and open it, and there it is. Now I have these 4 links. Home, hobbies, obviously that doesn't work. None of these work yet because I don't have the files made yet. Let me go back to my Text Wrangler. Now it's time to make those files. I'm just going to go to File, Save As. What that's going to do is basically going to take everything I have and save another version of it And so now it's time to name my file. Let me go back to the folder here to see what I did. I called the first one Hobbies. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, Hobbies.html. The next one's going to be Assignments, File, Save As, Assignments.html. Obviously these are corresponding to the file names that I had written down here. File, Save As, Contact. There we go. So now I should have 4 different files. You go here, and there they are. And they're all exactly the same right now. Okay, so I've got my index, hobbies, contact, assignments, and they should match these file names here. So let me go ahead and open them all up. File, open. And they should all open up in the same window here. If you're using Text Wrangler, you'll see them all come up in the side panel. If you're using another program, it might look a little bit different, but generally we're working with 4 different files. Right now they look exactly the same. So the first thing I'm going to do in my index file, index.html, is I'm going to delete everything that does not have to do with my home page information, such as hobbies and interests. Obviously that's going to go on my hobbies page, so I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go ahead and delete all my assignments and projects. I don't want that to be on my home page. And then I don't want my contact information to be on the home page. What I do want on the home page is that image that I had, and then my welcome information, my paragraph, and then, of course, I still need the closing of my body and the closing of my HTML. I'm going to go ahead and save that, Command S. Now I'm going to go to my hobbies site. I do want to keep my navigation, but maybe I'll change up here in my title. This is called Home. I want to change it to Hobbies, because obviously that is the name of this file, Hobbies. Go down here, I want to delete all this home page content. I want to keep my hobbies. I want all that. But I don't want my assignments. And I also don't want my contact information. But again, I do want to keep the body and the HTML closing tags. Go ahead and save that. Let me go to my contact page now. Now again, I'm going to change my title to Contact. I'm going to keep my navigation. I'm going to delete my home stuff. I'm going to delete my hobby stuff. I'm going to delete my assignments and projects. And I'm going to keep Contact Me. So the only thing on this page is Contact. Save that. And then Assignments. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything but my assignments content. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and save. And now when I look in a browser, go ahead and open that up, I can click between each one of these and they're all different. Okay? And now my job is to kind of go through and make sure each of these pages have an original link and have an original image and make sure that I have enough content for each page. And that's basically how you take one page and divide it into 4 and then work within your website.